Okay, folks, story time. So, I'm a little out of breath, sorry. Story time. So, I was supposed to get up at 6:15 this morning, to go to University of Platteville, Wisconsin for a programming contest. I did not do that. I set 5 alarms, none of them even woke me. I didn't even, get that half awakeness you sometimes get when you wake up, glare at your alarm for a couple seconds, then go back to sleep. Didn't even get that. But the saving grace is the contest starts at 10. It is currently 9:30. If I drive like I mean it, I can get to University of Platteville, Wisconsin.
Turn left onto US 61 Business Brady Street.
Oh boy, folks. Things I did not expect to do today. Drive to freaking Wisconsin. Things I'm doing today because I want to code. And I signed up for this thing and I'm gonna get my money's worth. Drive to Wisconsin.
Continue on US 61 Business for 3 miles.
I figure I might as well get some content out of it. I'll check back in with you guys later. Alright, so I thought I was gonna check in with you when I was at the university, but I gotta tell you this before I get there, in case it gets really busy or something. The hall that I'm going to at University of Platteville, Wisconsin is Ulrich Hall. Let's just let that sink in for a second. Ulrich Hall. Yeah, there's a Frozen Tundra Finds episode on a game based on a TV show called Code Lyoko. One of the main characters' name is Ulrich. Next thing you know, it's gonna be Jeremy Hall, you know? I just can't deal. That's too good of a coincidence. I'll see you guys later. Okay, so different camera angle, several hours later. It's 5 p.m. right now. So, good news. Made it. Other good news. No penalty to my team. Third good news. We placed first in our region. We did it. Insert air horn or something here, I guess. We placed first in our region. So I'll explain the contest structure in a little bit. And we placed 21st overall. At least that's from the unfinalized rankings. So, if the rankings change while I'm editing this or something, text will exist. But I'm assuming that the rankings are finalized. It's good, it's shiny, it's whatever. So, a little bit about the contest structure. How it works is you show up, right? And they say no internet of any kind except for the online documentation for your language of choice. That's the only internet resource you have, so you can only use built-in libraries and standard stuff and anything you know. You can bring in any handwritten notes you want. So you can bring in, notes from any programming class you've had. I don't think they wanted you to bring in programming textbooks just because they have code samples. And that's frowned upon, which, in fairness, would have brought my Java book if I was a little more prepared. So I'm going to tell you why I was late. No, I'm going to finish talking about the contest structure first. I lied. Very professional. So, the contest structure, you show up, they hand you it's either 8 or 9 questions. Because we answered 4. No, wait. There are 7 questions. Because we answered 4, and there were 3 we didn't answer. So, you're handed 7 questions that are really general, not even language-specific programming stuff. It's the math behind the code you write stuff. So, as an example, one of the things we needed to write was, what was it? This was the one that we, spent the most time on, too. It's basically, you get handed sets of points that make lines, and then you have points that are plotted on the same graph as those lines, and however many lines are between the 2 points you're handed, if it's even, it means one thing, and if it's odd, it means another. And that's not directly what the question is asking. It phrases it in they're planning a city, and every other side of the street is a specific district, and they want to find out if those districts are the same or different. So, you had to puzzle out, what's the math that would help me find this out first. And then once you find out the math, then you got to translate that into code. And so that was the general idea behind the questions. And I can understand why they did that. It's they don't want to tie it down to any specific language's quirks, so they don't exclude people. You could use a huge laundry list of languages too. And it was just really cool. Excuse me if I'm yawning or something. I'm going downhill and my ears are popping. But anyway, that was the really general structure of the contest, and it was really interesting to do. I had a great time with it, and my ears are really trying to pop right now. Excuse me. Yeah, I'm out of drive space. Until I get a backup drive, I will not be able to record any Frozen Tundra finds, any of the things that I had planned for November, which, by the way, November was going to be a themed month called Childhood Games Month. It would almost make more sense for me to do it in December, because, you get a lot of your childhood games in December anyway. But channel planning aside, so I roll out of bed, and I stand out in the cold for a good 10-15 minutes, waiting for the professor's reply, until I realize they're driving. He's not going to reply to his email. They're long gone. I'm going back to bed. Storm back to my room, red in the face, furious with myself for not getting out of bed, because I know that's something I'm bad at, and that I'm mostly furious because after the fact, I realized that my 5 alarms did not wake me. The notification for the email from the professor got me out of bed. If I sound a little upset, it's because I still am. I don't know why I'm like this. I need to just let it go, man. I actually got there. So I lay there despondent, just sobbing. Okay, not sobbing, but genuinely crying, because I was so excited for this. It was going to be the first time I wrote any code in a year, and it was going to be so cool. It was going to be a programming contest. We were going to do well. Things were going to go great. I was so hyped. And then I couldn't go. Or so I thought. So I laid there, just in tears, furiously upset. And one of my friends who lives a good, enough away from me that they're in, a noticeably different time zone. It's 4 in the morning for them, so I can't call them. And Kai is either A, asleep, or B, at work. And I didn't want to wake up Kai while she was, sleeping for work, or call her while she's at work in tears, And I couldn't call the other friend because it was 4 in the morning for them. I didn't want to wake them at 4 in the morning. So I'm well, my two people who I would feel comfortable calling in tears right now are unavailable. So I'm gonna lay here and hate myself for a little bit. So I did. 8 o'clock rolls around. It's been about 2 hours. I finally calmed down. I'm okay, I'm just down to that background level of furious with myself, and I'm alright, I guess I can just sit here and do homework or something. I'm just resigning myself to a really boring, just unexciting day, despite something I had planned. Get an email from this professor. Hey, call me at phone number. I think there's a solution to this problem if you have a car. I'm I have a car? That's a thing? Ring him up. Ring him up, putting back on, this polo and the pair of khakis I'm wearing, because I was in my PJs. I was going to stay in my PJs all day, because that was how I was feeling. I was actually feeling, bad enough for myself. I was considering getting out the pair of sweatpants. Anyway. But, I ring my professor, and I'm and he's hello? I'm yes, hello, it's Michael. And he's good, Michael, you have a car? And I'm yes, I have a car. This is the thing that can happen. He's alright. So Google tells me it's only an hour and a half to University of Wisconsin-Platteville from where we are right now. From where you are right now, from where we are right now. Where we normally are right now, basically. And it's possible for you to drive to University of Wisconsin-Platteville and join us for the programming contest. And I'm and during that period where I'm like, I had been resigning myself to doing nothing all day. I looked at the rules and realized that, like, they couldn't compete without me. So this is a boon. I am super pumped now. I'm like, I hate driving. I will drive to Wisconsin. Run out the door, all my gear and stuff in my hands. Like, I have my phone and my backup battery and a nice pair of headsets, water bottle, sunglasses, you know, the whole shebang. I don't need these, never mind. So, you know, I run out the door, get in my car, go. We're going to Wisconsin, everybody. Let's go. That's when I filmed the first video. So I get to campus, and I get to the University of Wisconsin campus after a great deal of driving. Professor approaches me and is like, hey, so you can't have your phone on, no internet, explains the rules. And I'm like, alright, okay, cool, this is fine. Turn off my phone, go into the contest, we start. Several hours later, turn back on my phone, inundated with notifications. Like, the friend I was refusing to call because it was 4 a.m., Kai, a couple other people, like, I'm pretty sure Kai messaged me, actually. There was just a lot of messages at once. Because, you know, you leave your phone off for a couple hours, that happens. I got an absolutely just, like, waterfall of messages of, like, my friend out in California was like, what the heck happened, dude? You were swearing. Are you okay? What's happening? And I'm, like, frantically typing. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I didn't know I was going to be radio silent, and I've warned you, I'm sorry. So, that was my day today, you know, and now we're driving back to Ambrose, where I get to sit down and do homework, I guess. But you know what? I had a great time at this programming contest, even despite the, like, disaster it was to get there. If you're a computer science major, or if you just like to code, or if you like math, do a programming contest, honestly. It was a great time. So, that was my day. Hopefully I can edit this into something that's reasonable to listen to and watch. We'll see. I don't know if I have enough drive space. Wish me luck.